I had a lot of people reaching out and asking about Emogrind, and I think kind of similar to emo violence, I was a little unsure of what direction I should go in with this. Maybe it's best if I started by kind of clarifying my terms. I'm not really referring to, I think, what a lot of people might also call false grind or white belt, sasscore. It's similar to chaotic hardcore. Altogether, that's a much goofier direction musically, I think, to go in than what I think of when I think of emo grind. When I think of emo grind, I think of something that's more grindcore influenced for one, obviously, and death metal influenced. And we're going to talk about how to get there today. Number one is probably down tuning to like drop B or maybe even drop A if your guitar can handle it. That down tuning really helps with creating a lot of kind of like intrinsic dissonance to your sound because your strings just get all floppy and nothing's really quite in tune anymore, and that makes it sound even more evil, really. If you're taking influence from death metal and grindcore, half steps are definitely your friend here, whether those be picked out in scales or whether you be playing them as chords. You're going to be working those half steps in everywhere. You're going to be doing lots of chuggy half step riffs, like hardcore style stuff, like you also might be doing lots of Hungarian minor style scales, especially when you're playing in like this range of the deck. You're gonna hear lots and lots of low chugging, kind of like interspersed with like octave and lead parts in this type of music. I think like Jillian Carter has tons of riffs that are just sort of like a stuff like that. Don't shy away from the octaves whatsoever. You're gonna have lots and lots of just chugged out that's super commonplace. The other thing that you hear a lot of in this kind of stuff is just like broken up sections where there's more textural chords, maybe even open stuff, but like some weird upper voicings at times too, just sort of make things just like a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more discordant. That'll definitely be like a good contrast against the parts where you're really just hammering on those super fast, super heavy parts. Similar to like our discussion of emo violence, like a key to this is just to play really, really fast. Practice playing fast a lot. Make sure you're including lots of dissonance in your sound. You can still make use of panic chords. Both tritones and semitones work great for those. Tremolo picking is also probably going to be in play here, similar to like more blackened sound, except you're not going to really be using a lot of the same modes that you'd be using in that sound, which is definitely going to tend in a more melodic direction, melodic minor, harmonic minor direction. This is going to get way dirtier, I think. The more half steps you can work in there, the better. Half steps are 100% your friend here. I think we also really need to talk about tone if we're talking about this genre in particular. A lot of other post-hardcore subgenres, I think it's pretty open-ended, kind of like how you want to dial in your tone. You probably want a lot of gain and distortion if you're going to try and make this kind of stuff. Like, you're going to need tons of feedback. You're going to need really, really dirty sound. I'm not super privy to like what kind of rigs a lot of bands that play in this kind of music actually use, but I'm guessing, tons of distortion probably. Probably a dual coil guitar if I had to guess. Probably a Les Paul or something of that nature. I think in the grand scheme of post-hardcore screamo derivative genres, this is kind of some of like the heavier stuff. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to playing some of those really chunky, loud riffs and really working that right-hand technique. There's going to be tons and tons of fast picking going on. But if you can find a good enough drummer and someone who can scream really brutal, then by all means try and put together another emo grind band. I'm really curious to hear what y'all come up with.